If you're having sales problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but a book ain't one. Creating Connections Podcast, episode number 99. 99 problems, but a book ain't one. Hit me.
I am so seldom speechless.
That's the opening for episode number 99. I am off the wall is what I am.
That's...
Vicki had no idea that was coming.
No, I really didn't. But welcome to podcast episode number 99.
Yes, this is Creating Connections for Event Pros with Gittimer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor.
And Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney.
And that's what we're talking about here today is we are releasing an expanded, revised version of Sales for Event Pros. Coming up at Mobile Beat Las Vegas. I've been working diligently on the book. Vicki has also been working diligently on the book, helping me edit.
I'm just helping. Yeah, he's writing.
So greatly appreciate you being at Mobile Beat. You can pick up a new copy of the book if you wish. We have expanded it. It was before 9 chapters, and now we're approaching almost 20, frankly. So if you think, it just added a couple paragraphs, no, it's it's completely reworked, revised.
It's very, very different. That's what we're going to talk about today.
Listen on, and we will take care of the reveal of the new process in Sales for Event Pros.
That was nice and easy.
What are you talking about? This also speaks to a much bigger issue.
Providing personal solutions through understanding people. This is the Creating Connections podcast with Gittimer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney.
So a while back, we actually did an episode where we walked through the entire sales process and kind of just gave everybody a brief overview.
Yeah.
But then over the last month and a half, you basically revamped how you teach the sales process now.
I did.
Simplified the process. I made the steps more easy to identify and remember, combined a few things, and it just fits. So I think it's time for us to do an episode where we dedicate to just another brief overview of the new and revised process, which coincidentally was the trigger for the new and revised edition.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about this at Mobile Beat, and we're doing a full seminar on the new process, if you will. And some parts are the same as the old process, don't get me wrong, but we have made it easier for you to understand.
And easier to remember.
Yeah.
I think that's really important to me.
So if you saw ROAR last year, you knew that ROAR was an acronym standing for Risk, Opportunity, Action, and Reward. And we talked about how that process applies to your marketing, your sales, and your performance. This year, we're going to walk you through the sales process with Sales for Event Pros and using the word sales as an acronym for the steps of the process.
Because that's what makes it easier to remember.
Exactly. So the first step is search. And you may have remembered from Sales for Event Pros, if you read the book, about researching your clients. And that's where searching it comes into play for the very first step. You need to search your past clients, your prospective clients. You need to search yourself. These are all part of the search phase of the sales process. And we go more in depth on that in the book.
But this is the phase that happens before you ever get to a meeting.
Yes.
And I think that's what, yes, Sales for Event Pros will walk you through how to run a really good sales meeting. But it's important that this whole phase, this whole step one happens before you ever have a face-to-face meeting or a virtual Zoom conversation. This is, what you do as soon as you get that initial inquiry, and even things that you have to learn about yourself and who you do your best work with beforehand. So lots of things to search out before.
The next step, the A, is approach. And how are you approaching the meeting you're about to have? How are you approaching that client? It's important to shift your mindset first. And we'll talk about that in depth in the book. I'm not going to be able to get in deep in all these.
No, but
just
that's
kind of
okay.
walking through the process for you. Shifting your mindset, setting the stage. What are the first 2 questions that you ask a client? How do you build rapport with them? And when should you share stories?
Yeah, like how do you just start the conversation in a way that is strategic yet still just conversational and makes you easy to connect with?
And the next step is learn. You're going to learn about each other. But before you can learn, you need to listen.
Well, listening's how we learn, really.
Yes, but it's such a missed step.
Mm-hmm.
Such a misstep that we listen, but we're not actually hearing.
Yeah, really listen.
Yeah. What did I say earlier about 99 problems?
I don't know.
See, you weren't listening. So after we listen and we learn how to actively listen, and we have a special guest featured in that chapter, which I'm excited about. Asking better questions, more emotional questions. We get to the heart of that in that section, in that chapter as well. And then finally, the next step.
It's not finally.
Okay. Kind of is for that section. But
okay.
Learning why. Learning why. You need to understand the why behind the buy so that you can be able to position yourself as a solution. And that's where you move into the explain phase.
That's where I thought you were going when you said finally, but no, explain. Yeah.
Explain is way more about, what makes you an expert. You need to analyze that first before we truly dive into explain, but you need to know that, be able to explain it effectively. And then from there, we go into brainstorming with a client. And how do you effectively brainstorm with a client or not? And then
how do you really show what you do? How do you educate them on your company, your service, and how that fits into the bigger picture of what they are wanting, needing, hoping to create?
Then after that, we, talk about how to effectively position your solutions with stories, how you can solve that with a client. And then in the last part of that, we talk about encouraging you to move from a products focus to a solutions focus in the explain phase of the sales cycle.
Which it really, and that's the former name of your company, your first sales company was Sales is Solutions.
Correct.
And it is that mindset shift that all we're doing in sales is solving a problem. Yeah. Creating a solution for a need that they have.
That's all sales is. Find a need and fill it.
But how do you explain that in a way that resonates with the client?
And that's what we're going to get into in the explained section. And then finally, we get into section 5, which is solve. And solving gets to probably the heart of what you most want to know and how to demonstrate your value effectively to a client. We talk about closing. I just read one of our Sales for Event Pros questions recently. It was funny. They're talking about closing, and I jumped on and responded literally pretty much verbatim from the original Sales for Event Pros book. And then overcoming objections. There's only 4 objections that you're going to have, period, in any sales situation. Every single objection can boil down to one of those 4. Yeah. And we talk about how to combat that, how not to combat it, but how to overcome the objection.
How to respond.
Yes. And then finally, realize that it's a circle. It never stops. Your sales cycle is not over just because you got the money. And it continues. And very important to understand that too. So a revised, expanded version of Sales for Event Pros with a much easier to follow acronym for you to understand the steps that you're working through.
But I just wanted us to have just a really basic overview, because Mitch and I will throw around things. Well, we'll reference a certain phase, or we'll talk about the sales process, and we kind of assume that everybody's tracking the way, thinking about it the way we are. Yeah. And I think that's not a really good assumption. we want to make sure that we take time and really explain a little bit more about what we're talking about and how it relates to you and how you can get more information. I mean, obviously we didn't go very deep into each of the 5 phases, but good overview for you, I think.
Yes, and this is just meant to give you an overview, a taste, if you will. Yes. If you want to get the full expanded revised content, we will have books available at Mobile Beat Las Vegas for purchase and also on tailoredsales.com. If you can't make it to Mobile Beat Las Vegas, you have to wait till probably mid-March. Pick up a copy. You can get them signed by me at Mobile Beat Las Vegas.
Or Photo Booth Expo.
Las Vegas. Or Photo Booth Expo, yes. We're excited to present a brand new revised Sales for Photo Booth Pros seminar and workshop coming up at Mobile Beat Las Vegas, at Photo Booth Expo.
Yeah, I think it's fun. The book is fairly general and you do a good job of providing examples for lots of different kinds of event pros. And I think that's important in a book. But when you're in front of a live audience, you have the opportunity to really tailor your examples. Yes, that's not what I did there.
Well done.
And to tailor your examples to that audience. So the Sales for Event Pros that Mitch is presenting at Mobile Bee will be different than the Sales for Photo Booth Pros.
Very different.
We will be presenting the following week for the Photo Booth Expo. And then those that are staying for the Sales for Photo Booth Pros workshop, the second day of the Photo Booth Expo, different more, again, in that it's the expanded interactive workshop edition. So
workshops are designed. We have deep dive workshop at Mobile Beat and Sales for Photo Booth Pros workshop at the Photo Booth Expo. They're designed to really get in and get your hands dirty and actually workshop through each of the components. We're going to be able to customize each part of the sales process to your business, and you'll get coached and critiqued by Vicki, who's a certified personality trainer, understanding the personalities you deal with, and then myself as a Jeffrey Gittimer certified advisor. Be able to have that knowledge to be able to tap into your business can really mean a really sharp increase in your business, in your sales, and in your referrals. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining us for 99.
I know. I'm so excited for next week.
Oh,
just don't miss episode 100. We're pretty excited about this.
Episode 100 is a game changer. And
I did let Mitch in on the plan.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty geeked that it's going to be an amazing shift of your game plan that you can make with episode 100. So thanks for joining us. Tune in next week for episode 100 with our very special guest. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to the Creating Connections podcast with Gittimer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musni. For more information on providing personal solutions through understanding people better, visit creatingconnections.biz.